from Mzansi and welcome to Afternoon Express. I'm Palisa Tembe and for today's Wellness Wednesday edition, we're focusing on body positivity. We meet anesthesiologist Dr. Patience Njani, who will share more about her Dr. Peshi Foundation and how it strives to uplift women through education. Fitness fanatic JP Stale shows us the benefits of high-intensity interval training. And to kick it all off is fitness girl Tracy Lee Lashy, an attorney whose body transformation journey has inspired curvy women all over South Africa to love and take care of their bodies. Now on social media, please fill in the blanks. If I'm having a bad day, I can always be turned around by...
Well, Pali, I think for me, I can always be turned around by a really good song. But I would like to turn your moods around with a delicious recipe today. And we're going to be making Eggs Benedict with an Aero Hollandaise Sauce. So you better tune in. Make sure you go to afternoonexpress.co.za to get the recipe info. But let's learn how to love our curves with Tracy.
Tracy Lee, also known as Fitness Girl, shares her body positive journey with us and how she's learned to love the body she's in, no matter her size or shape. Welcome to the Loft, Tracy Lee.
Thank you so much for having me. It is so great to be here.
Now, girl, we all go through various body seasons, and I love how you are open and honest about your own body journey. So tell us about how you've become body positive, how it all began for you, and how do you feel about your body now?
Wow, yeah, no, that is it's a long-winded question, so I'm going to try and keep it as brief as possible. For anyone that actually knows me or does follow me, I am the typical woman that has struggled with her weight her entire life, has been caught up in a cycle of yo-yo dieting for as long as I've probably been alive. But it was only very recently after starting my account in 2016, about 2 years in, that I discovered this notion of what body positivity really was. And I think for most of my life, I definitely wasn't body positive. I was losing weight for all the wrong reasons, and never really, it was always aesthetic. It was never really about health for me. And I think that's the biggest change from the years of dieting to look a certain way and to be valued by sort of a number that I see on the scale versus today where the health is sort of the center of everything. And as long as my body is functioning healthily and optimally, to me, that is what being body positive is all about.
Absolutely. I think that we have to try run away from this perfect physique because firstly, who's to say what perfect is, how it looks like, and who's to say one is more perfect other than the other? So I'm so glad that, Tracy, you are walking the talk here. Now, please also explain to me about bed cycle. How do you snap out of it and what motivates you?
So it's only been very recently that I've started opening up about BED. And for those viewers who don't know what BED is, it's the acronym for binge eating disorder. Binge eating disorders can come in various sort of shapes and sizes, if I could call it that. Specifically for me, I've suffered with something called non-purging bulimia, which is where I'm not a bulimic in the sense that it all comes up, but I sort of keep it down and I'd go through these binge rage cycles where I could gain easily 10 kilos in the space of a month, just because of the cycle. When the cycle rears its head, disaster strikes essentially. And it's been like that my entire life, which is why I've yo-yoed my entire life, because I've either been on a cycle where I'm gaining an excessive amount of weight or I'm losing an excessive amount of weight. And it's very, very black and white. There was never any maintenance that I could do whilst having a disorder such as my own.
Yes, when you find yourself in these situations, a lot of people find it quite hard to snap out of that cycle and bounce back even more motivated than before.
Absolutely. And I think for me, what really saved me, especially this time around, because this isn't the first rodeo, I always say it's Fitness Girl Journey 2.0, because for those of you who have been along on the journey for the past 4 years, I did have an incredible weight loss success in 2017 and 2018. But due to life commitments and career stress, and bad eating habits, it did all come back. So I think for me, the one thing that really did save me was learning more about what body positivity really was, and that it's not, your happiness and your worth isn't derived, by the value that you place on your external. It really starts inside. So I had to do a lot of mental work in order, which then basically, superseded into sort of the disordered eating. And that was something that I could then address once I'd done the internal work of valuing myself for me and not for aesthetically what I would look like in the mirror.
So then how does your fiance and your support system play a part in all of this? You have spoken about this inward journey, but how does the outside support system play a part?
Oh, it's so important to have a support system. I've always been supported my whole life. I come from a great family. I've been with my fiance for over 10 years now. And I mean, he's been through everything with me. And I think at the end of the day, he's never put pressure on me. He's never, wanted me to look a certain way. He was just really focused on, if I was truly happy and healthy, which I think, is obviously why I'm marrying the guy. So, it's a great relationship. And he's also gone on his own, can I say, fitness boy journey the last 3 years, and is also doing amazing. So now it's become something that we do together, and it's just made us a lot stronger as well.
I also believe that, a couple that does stuff together, they find those bonding moments, whether it's in the kitchen, in the gym, or in prayer, whatever you believe in. It definitely makes for a stronger couple. Now, speaking into your career, you're also a curve model. Now, were you reluctant at first to do that? And how has body shaming affected you?
Okay, so my whole life, you can imagine, I never ever thought of myself as a model, but I see now that, where the industry is moving, there has been so much more diversification in the modeling industry. So I thought this was a great way for me to, inspire others and to basically show, other women who look like me that, anything is possible and you can be a model. Like, this is not a club reserved for, only certain size girls. I think it's really great that the industry has moved in, in the way that it has. And I think for me, the biggest thing was, again, like I said, just representation and showing, the women who are my size that, it's you are represented.
And you are cute, honey. I'm so glad that the young girls growing up, when they see you on TV or follow you on social media, they can say, hey, there is a shining light that looks just like me, and I'm fabulous regardless. And on that note, what are the main things that women can do to remain body positive?
I think definitely when you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, it's about complimenting yourself. It's about expressing self-love. It's about, affirmations. And it sounds like it's so cheesy, but it really, really can. It really works. The first thing most women do when they wake up in the morning is they fiddle with their stomach rolls or they tug at their arms, and that's just not good. So for me, I'd say my morning affirmations: I'm brave, I'm strong, I'm fiercely made, and I'm capable, and I'm beautiful, of course. So I definitely think self-affirmations, is a definite, and just practicing more self-love. I feel like, things that we say to ourselves, we would never say to our closest friend or even our child. So why do we say them to ourselves? So I think that's really, it's just about, doing the mental work, as I've said previously as well.
Well, thank you so much, Tracy, because we appreciate this message. I say it all the time here, and the ladies in the kitchen also rally behind it. It's all about what we tell ourselves and the things we feed the brain of our garden, that watering that we do daily. I'm so glad that you've reminded us to keep up with those affirmations and to make sure that we're doing the inward work as well as the outward work. Goodbye, Tracy. You're the best. All the love to that fiancé.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
We thank you, Tracy, for sharing your inspiring journey with us. And as the saying goes, loving yourself is the greatest gift of all. For more tips and body inspiration, follow Tracy Lee on her social media.
Now, if that is not body positivity, Palisa, I honestly don't know what is. Learning to love your curves and not trying to get rid of them, because so many times we are told and taught, get rid of what is wrong and keep what is right. There's nothing wrong with being nice and full-figured.
Absolutely. I love that message. And more than ever, I think a lot of us can relate to what she spoke about. The fact that we have delayed our self-worth and we have pinned it down to the number on a scale or a dress size. I mean, that is ridiculous to me. For the fact that sometimes I'm going to say, I'll be happier when I'm smaller. I'll be happier when I'm a 32. That's ridiculous to me. So shout out to Tracy Lee and, of course, her support system for driving this message home.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. The constant yo-yo dieting, I know for a fact I've been there. So constantly hearing, no, you're not big enough. No, you're not small enough. No, do this, do that. It's like, Haibo, what must I do? It's my body. So having to learn to love it has probably been one of the best things for me.
Yeah, iconic. Loving the conversation today. Now, an allergic reaction with our skin can be jarring, but it can be treated. Coming up, we connect with dermatologist Dr. Ian Webster to find out how skin allergens work and how we can treat these reactions.
Express yourself.
skin is known as the largest organ of the body and does an amazing job to protect itself from nasty invaders. But sometimes an allergen can get the best of our skin, resulting in a reaction in the form of hives, itchy rashes, or bumps. We chat to dermatologist Dr. Ian Webster to understand how skin allergens work and how we can treat them. Welcome to the Loft, Doc.
Hi, good afternoon.
What are some of the most common skin allergies people experience, and what exactly causes these types of reactions?
There are basically two common skin allergens. Number one, there's what we call urticaria or hives, or in Afrikaans people call it bommels, and that is usually caused by the ingestion of something that you've taken in. So it can be a medication like aspirin, Disprin, penicillin, or sometimes a blood pressure pill. The other thing that can cause it is ingestion of foodstuffs, things like nuts, shellfish, strawberries. That's the type of thing that can cause it. The other type of common skin allergy is what we call allergic contact dermatitis, and that's where you become allergic to a chemical that you apply to your skin. And it can be things like nickel in your costume jewelry, but what we're seeing now with this COVID pandemic is a lot of people are becoming allergic to their masks. Like the surgical masks contain something called formaldehyde, and you can become allergic to that, or the dyes in the fabrics in the cloth masks, and we're getting reactions to that. I'm seeing a lot of that in my private practice.
Absolutely. I think a lot of South Africans can relate to all of these allergies that you speak of. But is eczema considered an allergy, and what are the general causes of it?
The term eczema and dermatitis, you can interchange the two names. That means exactly the same thing. And there are basically two types of eczema. We get eczemas from within, and that's often a genetic type of eczema. And then there is, as I explained, there is the allergic contact dermatitis. So that is where you become allergic to something external. An atopic eczema, that is often a type of eczema that goes with asthma, hay fever, and eczema. And people can have eczema from the day they're born to the day they die. And sometimes this can be a very troublesome type of eczema. But we think it's not a true primary allergy. We think it's often related to the barrier function of your skin. So if you use the wrong products, it can make it worse.
Now, can seasonal allergies trigger skin reactions or allergies of the skin?
Yes, definitely. So often with the atopic eczema, it's often associated with asthma and hay fever. So in the springtime, often you get pollens, molds, and various things in the air that can trigger the hay fever and the asthma, but it can also trigger the eczema as well. So often in springtime, the eczemas do get worse. So those are called Aero Allergens. So those are allergens that are actually in the air. Yeah.
Then, Dr. Ian, how can we treat and manage these allergies?
So number one, the hives. So the ideal thing is to try and identify the allergen and then avoid it. So with hives or urticaria, you try and identify what you've taken, what pill you've taken, what food stuff you've taken, and then sometimes you even need to keep a food diary. So you need to keep a little diary of everything you've ingested and see if you can work out what you're allergic to. Contact dermatitis, again, a careful history of what you've applied to the skin and the distribution of the rash. Say, for instance, if you're wearing cheap costume jewelry and you suddenly get an itchy rash on your earlobes, then you can identify that it could be the metal, the nickel from your cheap costume jewelry. The Aero Allergens are more difficult. So those are things through the air. You can do allergy tests, what we call RAS tests. You can try and identify, for instance, if you're allergic to pollens and things like that. But obviously those are more difficult to try and avoid. And that's why sometimes you have to take a non-sedating antihistamine on a regular basis in the springtime, often when the allergies are worse. Because you can't, sometimes those Aero Allergens you can't actually avoid.
Well, thank you so much, dermatologist Dr. Ian Webster, allowing us to navigate when it comes to seasonal allergies and skin allergies. Goodbye.
Thank you.
When it comes to seasonal allergies, there are a range of symptoms which one may experience, but with the right care, these conditions can be managed. We all deserve to enjoy life allergy-free. Allergex Non-Drowsy can assist with allergy relief for the entire day. Free to be you. Live, work, play, sleep. Allergy-free with Allergex Non-Drowsy.
I know we're talking about allergens and stuff like that, and I'm glad we're focusing on body positivity, Palisa, because so many people now think that they're just going through a seasonal flu or whatever, not knowing that it actually is an allergy of sorts. It's something they should basically need to look into.
Absolutely, Dumi. And I think that, you know, when we speak about body positivity, a lot of people look at their skin, and that is completely understandable. A lot of people with eczema, skin rashes, all these allergies that flare up within the skin surface, that can be quite jarring, and you might feel like, you know, I've had the biggest pimple, just to take a very small example, on my face, and I have felt shame. I didn't want people to see me. So I do understand how it has a ripple effect on your body positivity if your skin isn't taken care of.
No, very true. But anyway, on a lighter note, what would make your day? We were talking about the social media question.
Yeah.
What gets your mood up?
It's so interesting, Dumi. I love the fact that we've posed this on social media because it just makes you think. And more than anything, it makes you delve down and reflect as to what does turn my mood around. I have to agree with you, girlfriend. If you put on a good playlist, there's nothing that can't change my mood. But, you know, Tracy Lee also spoke about it. Affirmations are a thing. I was feeling a little under the weather today, feeling a little shaky, but I was like, I am strong, I am healthy, I am strong, I am healthy, I am perfect. So, you know, staying focused, I think, really helps as well.
Very true. Just telling yourself that you can get through it, you're okay, you're the best at being you, basically.
Yeah. Okay, girls, so we've touched on allergens, and we all know spring is around the corner, which means that time to start working on our summer bodies is now. So coming up, we continue our exploration of different forms of exercise as fitness fanatic JP Stale takes us through a high-intensity interval workout. Hey!
Express yourself.
off your couch and ready to sweat. With the Vitathion Unleash Your Beast Mode series, we're unleashing the inner beast inside us all by showcasing different ways in which we can get fit and boost our energy levels for the day. We chat to JP Stale, the founder and CEO of HIIT Fitness, about HIIT workouts and why this high-intensity exercise is such a success. JP, welcome to Afternoon Express.
Hi, Melissa. Thanks so much for having me. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, JP, and I'm so ready to get my sweat on. But firstly, what exactly is HIIT workouts?
So, HIIT workouts is basically where you work out in short bursts of time periods at your highest intensity, followed by short periods of rest, right? So this helps to boost your heart rate and keeps it elevated for hours after your workout is done, which really results into a higher metabolism at the end of the day.
So it's a fast, high-intensity workout, but why is it such a great form of exercise?
It's such a great form of exercise because it is results-driven, especially if you are looking to lose fat weight or drop body fat, increase muscle mass at the same time, and just to improve your overall fitness and health at the end of the day. And the biggest benefit, I think, is the fact that you don't need to work out for hours, but you can work out for 20, 30 minutes and have an effective, results-driven workout.
So then, JP, would you say that HIIT is for all types of people?
It is for all types of people, especially if your goals are to lose fat weight, to increase muscle tone and to increase your overall fitness. And the most important thing about that is that all your exercises just needs to be graded, because my high intensity is not the same as the person next to me's highest intensity, right? So as long as the exercises are graded, all types of people will be able to do it.
Okay, let's get into a quick demo now. I love the fact that you spoke about different intensities and everyone being at a different pace. So I'm definitely at the beginner stage, but why don't you take us through some of those high-intensity workouts?
Okay, no problem at all. So, Melissa, we're going to do 3 exercises. And now our viewers at home can do this for 10 repetitions each, all right? And they can do this for as long as 10 minutes to see how many rounds they can do within 10 minutes. We're just going to do a demo version. So the very first one will be a squat to knee up. So this way we're going to target the lower body first. So you can place your hands behind your head, and we're going to do a squat down, push your hips back as we go down, all right? And as we come up, we're going to lift our knee towards our torso and alternate, all right? So we lift our knee to the torso, squat down, so your hips go back, chest out back straight, and alternate the knees. You do 10 per side, all right? So that's our first exercise.
Oh, thanks for that, JP. And what's the next exercise?
The next exercise we're going to do, target the upper body again. So now we're going to do push-ups, all right? So for our ladies, we're on our knees, for the guys, we're on the toes, okay? So we're going to go with our arms right underneath our shoulders, core nice and tight, but keep your elbows tucked in, all right? Then you bend your elbows, all right? Slowly down and push back up. Now, I'll begin this. You might go halfway first and push back up. That's great, Melissa. Our more advanced, you go straight down and back up. And obviously those guys on your toes.
Okay, cool. It's quite obvious that I've got zero upper body strength. So let's move right over to the last workout.
You'll be doing great with that one. Not too bad. The last one, okay, we're going to target our cardio. So this is to rev the heart rate up, get you into metabolic mode, okay? And this is what we call vertical mountain climbers. So this is what it looks like. We're going to go all alternating, knee up, all right? And arm up, stretch as high as possible, all right? And then we're going to exchange. As the other knee comes up, we drive the other arm up, you grab as high as possible, and alternate, all right? So we'll begin now, we do the walking version. All right, keep the core engaged. The more advanced, we do the running version. There we go.
Okay, I'm definitely feeling heart rate pumping.
Great stuff. So those you do for 10 repetitions each, as many rounds as possible in 10 minutes, and then you have a demo of what a HIIT workout would look like, and drive that body fat down.
Oh, thank you so much for bringing HIIT workouts to Afternoon Express and encouraging everyone at home to keep fit and keep those energy levels up all day. Goodbye, JP.
Great, thank you, Melissa.
Now, good news for you, all of our viewers. You can stand a chance to win a 1,000 Rand Take-A-Lot voucher, courtesy of Vitathion. Reply to the Vitathion competition post on the Afternoon Express Facebook page or Twitter page and tell us what's your favorite way to work out. Don't forget the hashtag AllDayBeastMode. Competition closes on the 28th of August 2020 at midnight, and terms and conditions can be found on afternoonexpress.co.za. Activate your beast mode with Vitathion.
I'm sorry, Palisa, I'm out of breath for you. I can't imagine doing that workout and having to still present a show. I mean, you're a superhero.
No, the true superheroes here are people like JP bringing hit workouts onto our platform. Now, Dumi, I am definitely not one to work out. I'm not disciplined enough to wake up in the morning or after work head over to the gym. So I love the fact that he gave us a little this and that to try at home. And that's iconic for me.
Especially because we're going into that time of the year where summer bodies will be bared and shown and stuff. So we better get started with our workouts right now, actually.
But more than ever, you know what? A summer body changes and looks different to the next person.
True.
Whether you are summer bodying it out like Tracy Lee Lashy, or if you're summer bodying it out with JP, there's beauty everywhere.
Yes, exactly.
On all points of the spectrum.
In all spheres, round, purple, green, square, it's all beautiful.
Love that. Now coming up, we chat with Limpopo's finest doctor, anesthesiologist Dr. Peshi, as she breaks down her Dr. Peshi Foundation and how it strives to uplift women through education.
Express yourself.
You only have one skin. Nourish it and wear it bravely.
Peshi is doing the most to uplift women during these trying times through the Power Women brand, as well as her own eponymous foundation, the Dr. Peshi Foundation, which strives to transform lives through education and empowerment. Dr. Peshi, welcome to The Loft.
Oh, thank you so much.
Now, Doc, why did you start the Dr. Peshi Foundation? And talk to us a little bit about the amazing work that's being done.
Oh, yes. Palisa, my purpose in this life is to serve. And of course, hence I stepped into a career of service. And Dr. Peshi Foundation is one of the platforms that I utilize to be obedient to my calling of service. And recently, the Dr. Peshi Foundation was inspired by Hebrews chapter 13, verse 16, which says, "Do not neglect to do good and share what you have with others as it pleases God." And what we've been doing with the foundation recently, we kickstarted it with collecting the pre-owned clothes from the more fortunate people, package them nicely into our Dr. Peshi Foundation bags, and gift them to the less fortunate children and young adults and school children.
It seems like the ground roots levels are just so strong in this foundation. So I have to find out then, how is the foundation making social change and of course to development through the focus on education and empowerment?
Oh, Palisa, you've touched on the two most important aspects of the foundation that is like really close to my heart. Our vision is to be the leading agent for social change and development with a focus on education and empowerment. We will fulfill this mission by doing the following. We'll be able to give bursaries to underprivileged children. And the second one will be to empower young people through our empowerment programs and through our journal, our foundation journal, which is my caption, and through our social media pages and our mentorship programs. And another thing will be to provide the Anaesthetic awareness campaigns in order to educate people more about anesthesia, because 4 out of 5 people in the world in their lifetime, they undergo surgery and they don't know much about anesthesia. So we want to educate them in that regard. And another thing is that Clean Your Closet campaign is going to be a biannual campaign that we do and bless the less fortunate with clothes and shoes and toiletries as well.
Wow. I love that you're making real practical change in people's lives. Now, Dr. Peshi, please may you tell me a little bit about that journal that's available from your foundation?
Oh, wow. That is one project is really, really close to my heart. My greatest passion in life has always been the caliber of the baton that I'm passing on to the future generation. And I use my social media platform to teach, to inspire, to motivate. And with that, I got such a positive feedback from all over, people telling me how they went back to school because of my captions, because of my life, and because of the way I handle myself and how I motivate them. So my captions was inspired by the captions that I write on the social media pages that are inspiring to young women. So I decided to write a book, a journal, which is my caption for those ones, underprivileged ones who can't reach us on the social media pages, so that they too can be inspired and can be uplifted as well.
Wow. What are some of the benefits of the Power Women webinars, and how will it uplift women and empower them?
Power Women will host an international webinar that will empower and uplift women globally. And this webinar will be attended by 6 internationally recognized speakers, women who are trailblazers in their respective fields. They are women who believe in women empowerment, and we are the corporate sponsors of Power Women, a webinar. And you know what they say, an empowered women empower other women. And to do it on a webinar platform is good, as we'll be able to touch a wide range of people. And another thing is that we're partnering with Oprah Winfrey Vision 2020 Power Women webinar is also a partner of the Oprah Winfrey Vision 2020, which is a partnership with Power Women Africa as well. So there's a lot that is coming with regard to Power Women and women empowerment. And people will be able to register for the Power Women webinar on our website. We are going to update everything on my social media pages. At the end of the event, the first 200 people who are going to purchase the tickets will get the Oprah Winfrey Vision 2020 packaging. So it's just going to be a beautiful collaboration of global women and empowering the people.
Thank you so much, Dr. Peshi, for bringing us this incredible Power Woman brand. And I am very sure that the caliber of the baton you're handing down to the next generation is truly powerful and make that change that you want to see. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can definitely tell you now that South Africa is going to be hearing more about the incredible work Dr. Peshi and her team are doing through the Power Woman brand and, of course, her foundation over time. And us here on Afternoon Express are all too excited to be a part of the journey. The Dr. Peshi Foundation strives to uplift women through education, and together with the Power Women organization will empower both themselves and their communities.
Oh my word, Palisa, another phenomenal woman doing phenomenal things. You know, she's an anesthesiologist, but she's also stepping out of her career to do other things just to show. And I love the fact that she says that her gift or her calling is to give and to serve others.
And the fact that she's saying that now she's going to use her work to fill out that cause is so brilliant. It's so incredible to see women like this fearlessly going after what they want. And you know how we've been asking what makes us happy, and if we're having a bad day, what turns it around? Speaking to powerful mentors like Dr. Peshi, I think also for me can boost up my spirits.
No, very, very definitely. So that's what I'm also going to do for you now.
Okay.
So I'm going to be boosting your mood and serving everyone with a delicious recipe. We're going to be making Eggs Benedict with the Aero Hollandaise Sauce.
Oh, that sounds delicious. Everyone, please may you head over to our Afternoon Express website, afternoonexpress.co.za, if you want to be cooking along with Chef Dumi and I after these.
Express yourself.
Nothing beats the long-lasting freshness and quality taste of Clover fresh milk. Made with love by Clover.
Happy Wednesday, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Freshen up your Wednesday with our quick midweek fix. Our Clover Fresh Milk Eggs Benedict with Avo Hollandaise is quick to make and will have you feeling like your culinary skills cannot be contested. Did you hear that, Queen?
It sounds good to me. I love a good Eggs Benedict, but I do not know how to make that Hollandaise sauce. So South Africa, if you want to get in on this incredible recipe, just head over to afternoonexpress.co.za and you can get all the ingredients and the details as to how to throw down in this kitchen.
Exactly. And the one thing I like about this Eggs Benedict is, yes, Hollandaise is normally made with the eggs, but we're not getting the eggs involved. The eggs are basically just part of the dish, but the Hollandaise sauce itself is made with our Clover fresh milk and some Avo.
Lead us, Queen.
All right,
Lead
so
us.
before I get started with that, let me get the mushrooms started because they're also part of the recipe. So I'm going to get those cooking in the interim while we get the sauce sorted out. So I'm just going to increase our heat here. So all we want now is we want our mushrooms to be nice and brown on the outside because they've got a nice nutty but also meaty texture if you crisp them up. If they're nice and soft, yes, they're delicious, but that texture just takes them up a notch and you actually end up thinking you're eating meat when you're not. But anyway.
So basically patience here when it comes to the mushrooms.
Basically,
Take your time.
But also the other good thing is to just have a nice medium to hot pan and then that helps with getting it all nice and brown on the outside. So let me actually get started with this. And then another thing we're going to do is while they're sizzling up, I want to add some heat because I know my queen loves some heat.
I do, but more than ever. You know, a lot of people always rag on me about the chili and the heat, but at the end of the day, I love the fact that it is good for my digestive system, and also some chilies have that killer vitamin C, and I love that too.
I'm glad you know that. So the one thing I love about this recipe, it's very light, but it's also very healthy for you because we've got the protein from the eggs, we've got the good fats from the Avo, and you've got all that calcium and all those nutrients from our Clover fresh milk, Yona, and it's 55 quality tests, and the fact that, like, I still can't believe that it actually stays fresh for up to 18 days.
That is remarkable to me because I'm the type of person, I mean, I live on my own, so I need to get enough bang out of my back.
Exactly.
So when I buy a 2 liter of the Clover fresh milk, of course, in that blue bottle, I need to make sure that it is going to be able to last in my fridge for an optimum amount of time because I'm not trying to run back to the store to buy more and re-up. So the fact that it can stay fresh for that long, I love it.
Especially with these moments where we're being told to try and stay home as often as possible, as much as possible.
Yeah.
So it actually is great for that. So to start off our Hollandaise sauce, we've got some Avos in here. I'm going to go in with our seasoning, some salt and pepper.
Okay.
I love a bit of salt in this because we want to make sure that we flavor it up as much as we can.
Yeah.
And then some more heat, some cayenne pepper. And then we need, whenever we make Hollandaise sauce, there's always an acid of sorts. So either it's lemon juice, vinegar. In this case, we're using our lemon juice for this recipe. Okay. So to start it off, I'm not going to add the milk just yet because we want the milk to actually thin it out. So we're going to start. It's going to be a nice thick paste. That's fine. Let me just...
Dumi. And I also love the fact that you're incorporating avocado again in this ingredient because I know we love cooking along here in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And we also love to focus on seasonal ingredients and seasonal vegetables. And right now, avos are the thing. So we need to get them at an economical price right now and optimize on it on our shelves.
I honestly wish there was a way that you could like freeze avos and they stay fresh because the thing is, when you freeze them, they come out, they're not the same.
Yeah. Okay, I love that. So I see that, okay, you first blitzed up your avocado. After blitzing it up, you added more full cream fresh milk.
Correct.
And then you continued blitzing it again.
Yes. So the whole idea here is you want the consistency to be runny, but also thick because you still want it to hug and hold on to the eggs. You don't want it running off.
Okay.
It basically is the sauce for this dish. I didn't put any sauce on the bread. I didn't put anything underneath. We literally just have the Hollandaise that's going to bind this all together.
Beautiful.
So one more blitz.
Lovely.
And that is it. Our sauce is nice and thick and ready. Let's just get our mushrooms nicely toasted. Can you guys see this? This is just amazing.
Dumi, I'm loving the color on those mushrooms, becoming that golden brown that we love so much. And also accompanying it with the color of that Hollandaise sauce. I'm already imagining how this plate is going to come together. And if you would love your plates to come together the same way ours are here on Afternoon Express's Kitchen, please do head over to our website and you can also be cooking along, getting this delicious, delectable egg Hollandaise Hollandaise Egg Benedict recipe.
So, do you like your eggs poached, fried, or should I just...
I like them poached, girl.
All right, and
I like
soft
them
poach, hard poach?
Soft.
Okay, so we're gonna do that. A trick whenever you're poaching, I've got my water that's been boiling here, and I've got some vinegar. So like we said, another acidic sauce. You can either use vinegar, you can use lemon juice, anything that's acidic, because what happens is when the egg goes in there, if there's no acid, it's gonna basically like go everywhere.
Disperse.
Yeah, and we
I've
don't want that.
always wondered how people, you masters in the kitchen, are able to get those eggs put together so nicely in that cute little pouch and package on top of the bread. It's genius to me. So just adding a little bit of vinegar to your water does the trick.
And then another trick. The water was boiling, and then I turned it completely down because we want it now just to simmer, because we don't want the egg to break again. So this is another trick. We create a whirlpool in the center of the pot, and then we drop our egg in the very center, and then what's going to happen is it's going to basically create a whirlpool, and then the egg itself is going to come into itself.
I love that. Okay, this is essentially, we can almost use like science in this, because it is essentially that movement that's binding it and holding it and hugging it together.
Correct. But the other thing is, if you really don't want to try it and you don't want to risk having your eggs looking like a flat mess, then you've got the trick of taking cling wrap, putting your egg, breaking your egg into, basically, I could do that for you now. You just take a piece of plastic, actually.
I'm kind of loving this, South Africa. Please head over to our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Use that hashtag Afternoon Express if you are loving all of these hacks and tricks in the kitchen that Uboy Tumelo is throwing down. I'm loving that. I see what you mean, though, as well, about the mushrooms that not necessarily are burnt, but are just getting sauteed.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I've just switched it off, so now they're basically going to continue cooking in there.
Okay.
But we're not burning them or anything. This is another trick where you basically just do this with the egg. Put an elastic band here, put the egg in there. So what happens is, luckily because of the plastic, the egg is going to cook and it's going to create a nice little ball.
Or if you don't even have an elastic band, I can just imagine you can tie a knot.
Yeah, you can just tie a knot, and basically the egg is going to cook. You take it out, it's a nice little poached ball of good deliciousness, and that is basically it.
Lovely.
That's your eggs Benedict. So I'm going to try and take one of our eggs out here.
Okay. It should almost be ready. This is definitely a beginner's lesson, because you kind of broke it down quite simply. I understand it. And you've also empowered me, making me feel like I can do this quite easily at home over the weekend. And of course, this will make a delicious Sunday brunch.
Correct. And I know a lot of people talk about brunch this, brunch that. Guys, it's very simple. It is really very simple. So we're going to go in with our mushrooms here.
Okay.
Just plate them up. And because I've got them side by side, I don't even need to worry about plating on one specific slice of bread. I'm just going to make a nice little trail of mushrooms at the bottom.
Stunning. I know that we are in level 2 South Africa, and that the economy has opened up and restaurant goers are just loving that. But this is a recipe here that need not be enjoyed in a restaurant. You can enjoy this from the comfort of your own home.
Correct.
And I see that you're also adding a meat there, Tumza.
Yeah, so you've got the option of adding whichever meat you'd like. If you even wanted, you don't have to, but if you'd like to, you can add some meat into there. And so basically what I've done, I've used some prosciutto. You can use smoked salmon, smoked trout, whichever you like. Obviously, it's best to use stuff that's sustainable, because we're trying to look after our environment as well. And then you basically just spoon your eggs onto there.
Wow.
That's the first one. And let me try and take out our makeshift.
But in the interest of time, Tumi, just dish up that last one and put it all together beautifully.
Sure?
I'm very sure. I cannot wait to eat, and I'm sure South Africa is salivating watching you put this masterpiece together. Put that Hollandaise sauce on top of it.
Are you ready for this?
Let's go, honey.
And we've got the heat in there and everything. We've got the salt. It's already seasoned. So all we do now is we just plate this up.
Delicious.
And you've got a nice thick Hollandaise sauce that goes on there. I'm one of the few people who enjoys her sauce nice and thick, because I want it to basically just hug my eggs. And obviously once it hits the eggs, it's going to start dispersing or distributing evenly around.
It won't be as thick of a consistency on top of there. It'll just kind of melt into all the other ingredients.
Into everything, yeah. And then that's basically your Hollandaise. And another trick, just at the very end, I like to add some more acidity and some deliciousness. And this is just sun-dried tomatoes that you've chopped up.
Wow.
And that is your eggs Benedict. So if you can't get full from this, I don't know what would fill you up. Now that's one refreshing way to end the day. To get your hands on this recipe, go to afternoonexpress.co.za.
Nothing beats the long-lasting freshness and quality taste of Clover fresh milk. Made with love by Clover. Now, Tumi, we are speaking about something that is very sensitive subject, but we are tackling it head on the show. Body positivity. We are breaking stigmas. We are breaking the taboo nature of how we feel about ourselves.
Very true. And I guess body positivity shouldn't even be a thing. It's basically the same as racism, sexism, all those things shouldn't be a thing. And now we have to find ways to talk around it and be like, oh, she's cute, but she's chubby. Oh, she's cute, but she's too tall. Those things shouldn't ever matter. But luckily, we are a platform that says to people, love you as you are.
And how have you found your own journey, I suppose, within the body positivity?
Girl, I remember when I was younger, Mama, I love you, but hey, there'd be times when I was like a chubby little kid, and my family would be on some, hey, okay, no weight, and then I go and fight and try and lose weight. You've lost so much weight. How? What must I can do now?
Because and that's what I would love to talk about, because a lot of people have different strategies and have got different standards as to what beauty is. But I want to break those continuously, not only today, not only it being Women's Month, but just moving forward, because I think that a lot of people can benefit, I suppose, from this conversation.
Yeah, very true. So I think the biggest thing, especially not just for women, but even for boys, for guys as well, body positivity is basically you loving you. Like, there are people that are not, I like even my height thing. You know that used to be a thing.
Me too, girl. Can I tell you something? Growing up, when they used to say shortest to tallest, everyone line up, I used to want to fight. I got so defensive. But I'm loving the fact that we started this conversation and we shall continue it. We have made it our mission on Afternoon Express to break those barriers and those boundaries. And speaking about body positivity, girl, take the whole plate.
Get that out of here. I'm about to dig in.
Cheers to that, Tumi. Thank you so much. Please may you just pass me some milk before you dive in for my tea. And we're about to enjoy this incredible meal. Now, South Africa, please do join us again tomorrow for another exciting edition of Afternoon Express. Until then, Mzansi, stay safe, good night, and happy eating.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.